Hey there, crew. It's time for our 2-week check-in inside of our work bullet journals. We're using our yearly task planner in conjunction with the bullet journal. So in today's video, we'll be taking a look at everything we did in this past month. We'll be setting up for the next 2 weeks inside of our planner, and we'll also be setting up a weekly spread inside of our bullet journal this week as well. My name is Mark, and I go by MENWHOBULLET here on YouTube, as well as Instagram and TikTok, and over on my website, MENWHOBULLET.com. I also have a fun podcast where we talk about super fun stationery things called The Hobbyist Hangout, and I just released a new podcast episode this past week. I'll put those links down in the descriptions for you below if you're interested in checking that out and talking about stationery, as we continue to also talk about planning as well. So this past week inside of my appointed task planner worked out well. I have not really been using notes in here as much. I've talked about it in the past that a lot of my notes are going inside of my bullet journal, and I'm so happy about that. I don't super love using this space as much. Sometimes I'll jot things down quickly, but rapid logging, that happens in the bullet journal. But tasks and things are going inside of here, and I'm really holding myself accountable for everything that's happening. And that, my friend, is what it's all about. So if we go to our monthly overview here, this is where I've been doing a lot of my upfront planning this year and really focusing in on this 2-week method of taking things on. I've been just killing the task. I love it. This upcoming week is a really big one. A lot of the things I've been working on have been really culminating to come to this quarterly team planning that I've been putting together for my team for some time. We also have a team happy hour that I'm organizing afterwards. So really excited. So everything I needed to get done got done. Yay, that's awesome. Also, last week I mentioned that I was going down to DC to meet some friends at the Go Wild event. Super excited and awesome to be able to meet just some internet friends I've had for a long time. Jess from Joshy Curran. I met up with Erica. I got to meet the entire Archer and Olive team. Well, most of the entire Archer and Olive team. Bonnie and Haley and Heidi, and it was just such a great time. I had so much fun seeing everyone, and a handful of viewers that stopped and said, hey, you know, I'm this person, and it was super nice to meet them too. So it really filled my heart last week. So work is going well. Everything is happening. Now that we are moving towards this big to-do for this quarterly plan, things are kind of calming down a little bit. Honestly, the big things that I'll be trying to really take on in these next 2 weeks are going to revolve a little bit more around work. Well, everything revolves around work, right? But a little bit more around design operations specifically, and working on a few things. But I'll tell you my three big things that I want to accomplish over these next 2 weeks. One, I have someone on my team who does research operations, so similar to design operations, and I'll be working with her and just really trying to build a foundation around research operations, similarly to what I've done for my own role in things in the past to get to where I am. So I'll be helping her out with that a little bit. We're also planning for a high school visit at work, so we'll be prepping and kind of getting everything together for that. And then other than that, I think my big thing for myself is really going to be setting up for some new tools. I've been working on bringing a tool into work for, oh my gosh, since October, and we're finally getting there and getting closer and closer. So I'll go ahead and jot those down inside of here. So now that I have everything written out here, what I like to do is just go ahead and flip to my next page inside of my planner. And this is where I'll do a lot of my setup and get all of my tasks and everything ready. If you're unfamiliar with the appointed task planner, there's a few different versions of it. There's like a weekly version of it, which I have here. I believe they have a daily even and quarterly, all kinds of fun stuff. But what I like about this layout is that you get that monthly overview, but then you also get this week overview. And this is usually how I plan inside of my bullet journal, honestly. So I have all the days of the week over here, our top priorities and tasks, and room for notes. The one thing that I forgot to do last week in the video was actually set up the team capacity part over here. So I have all of those materials ready to go for myself as I set those up. That's really where I'm just asking my team what the capacity is looking like for the week. And then what I can do is actually go back through all of my different weeks and take a look and start to make some correlations to the time of the year, projects, and what else is happening here as well. So let's go ahead and move some of those tasks over into this week. I'll also be taking some of the tasks that I have inside of my bullet journal as well, bringing them all into one spot, and then we'll go ahead and set up our weekly inside of here in just a moment. All right, so my entire task planner is now set up for myself for this upcoming week with things that are going on. I don't like to write down every single meeting that I have coming up, but anything important I will add on here. Otherwise, it's all on my calendar. I don't need to rewrite it down here, so I'm okay. Priorities are set. My tasks are set for the week, so this will be my real big focus inside of my task planner. So let's go ahead and take a look at our bullet journal. One thing we do get the update inside of here, so I have a brand new Instagram tracker that I just created. We totally filled out the other one a few weeks ago, which was very exciting, as you may have seen inside of that previous video. I will have a new video coming out that's talking all about Instagram trackers, where we'll actually be taking a little trip down memory lane and taking a look at all my past ones. But the great thing is I get to fill out this because we hit 22.8 thousand followers on Instagram and still growing. And that happened over on the 5th of this month. So I'm just going to do what I've been doing, which is just dating it. We're going to keep this pretty straightforward. I love the way these looked. I did some of the distressed oxide blending on side of here with one of my own stamps that I made too. So loving the way this one turned out. So let's go ahead and take a look at our week. This past week, pretty busy, a lot of stuff going on, just rapid logging and notes. It's kind of a mix of a bunch of different things that are happening. So able to take a lot of this information. I like to migrate it over to my task planner. I have it all documented in here because I wrote it down, but I like to keep anything that goes on during the week and keep it over there to get things started, and then can bring things over in here if I need to. So we'll go ahead and open up to our next open page here. This week, I decided I'm going to just take it easy. And so I'm going to use a lot of stickers this week as we go into it. It's not something that I often do. I have a large collection of stickers, but I don't always use them. So I have these Hanko seals, and these trees are kind of what I'm going to go with here. And then I'm just going to use the days of the week to set those up real quick. I did get in that essentials order from Archer and Olive. They came out with a new stationery tool for stickers. It's kind of the motivation for me doing this week, honestly, is, well, let's do that. So I'll be able to pick these up easily, place them down, and go from there. I decided this week I'm just going to keep it somewhat simple. So what I'm going to do this week is just split my pages into thirds. I'm really only going to do the top section here because I'm not just keeping notes just for those days, but I definitely want to just kind of have a real quick little visual of where that's going to fall. I will do this Monday through Friday for this week, and then we'll keep this far right-hand side open over here for just more rapid logging that'll be going on. I like to use stickers sometimes because, like I said, it's just easier that way. These are super nice ones because they're a little transparent, so they actually start to look like they're a part of your page versus having that white background. There we go. No, the tweezers are new to me. Honestly, I haven't ever really used tweezers for stickers before, but it makes a lot of sense for kind of like knowing where it's going. You feel like you have a little bit more control than you do with just your fingers. At least that's how I feel about it. So it's nice to have them try to kind of figure out where your spacing's going before you lay it down. All right, and then we'll go ahead and pull up these over here. We'll just bring them up real quick, lay them underneath, and then set up our space. All right, we'll go ahead and keep things simple too. Like I said, I'm only gonna just use maybe a handful of these verticals going down here. Now I'm just gonna use my pen that I'm gonna use this week to create those lines. So I'll pull them all down to the same spot. What I am gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and just split the pages in half. And that way I just have these spaces here for the rapid logging that's going on. This will be a little bit funny because we have the top section here, but I'll just kind of use this as that full column. So I'll just go ahead and put in some titles real quick for this. Nice and simple and sweet. So I'll put all of that inside of here and we'll be good to go for this week. I'll put all the links for all the different materials that I use down in the descriptions for us below. And if you have any questions, of course, make sure to ring out inside of the chat down in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for hanging out and happy planning. I'll talk to you next week.